for today, we are going to look at the next food nutrient, and that is proteins. Okay, and these proteins, okay, it is shown there, have elements Hello?
Yes, teacher.
Okay, yes, good, okay. These proteins have element carbon, hydrogen, oxygen, and the nitrogen. And the word here should be nitrogen is the most essential. Can you please make that correction there? Nitrogen is the most essential element in proteins, although some proteins can have sulfur and the phosphorus. Can you make that change in the notes? Let us make that change in the, let us that in the notes. I know I've written these notes down, so if there are some errors, we need to correct them now. Quality of the notes that you have. This way, that's a typing error. Okay, and we need to change it. Now, proteins are formed from where the word is nitrogen is the most essential element in proteins, and some proteins may also contain sulfur and phosphorus. That statement there, the word is external. This word here should be removed. Okay, the word there should be removed. That word should be essential. Okay, not external. Okay. Then the simple units, or the units from which proteins are made, are called amino acids. Amino acids, and actually we have two types of amino acids. We have those amino acids we call essential, and then the non-essential amino acids. Now, the amino acids which the body can synthesize the amino acids. Okay, can you pay attention here? This statement should be essential amino acids are those which cannot be synthesized by the body. Essential, so the word, you remove the word none. So it should be essential amino acids. Essential here, remove this. Okay, remove that from the notes. So it should be essential amino acids are those which cannot, this one should be cannot, which cannot be synthesized by the body and must be supplied through the food in adequate amounts. Then we have the non, you can also make that correction, the non-essential, which are synthesized in the body. Yeah, so our bodies can make certain amino acids, but those which must come from the diet are also there. The ones which come from the diet are the essential amino acids. And if your body lacks these essential amino acids, you are most likely to get deficiency diseases, okay? Do you know of any deficiency disease which is associated with lack of amino acids? I had a question, which deficiency disease is associated with the insufficient essential amino acids in the body? Okay, right. Okay, next time put up your hand and do the same. That is the kwashako. Last time I was talking about people signing without names. Technopop, please sign in with your name. Techno, get a name that we can use to identify you. And yeah, only that even yesterday I told this very person, okay, to always come in with the name. All right, today's only one person, better than yesterday. Okay, so these essential amino acids cannot be synthesized by the body, so they have to come from the diet. The food we eat must be having them. And children, we shall see later, whose diet may lack these amino acids, get deficiency diseases. One of the disease was called kwashiorkor. That disease is what we call kwashiorkor. All right. So this one has come from our understanding that there are two types of amino acids, the essential and then the non-essential amino acids. Now, these proteins, remember, their main role is to build the body. However, somewhere we are saying that these proteins can be used to provide energy, especially in case of starvation, okay? However, their role is to build and repair the body tissues. But in case of starvation, if there is no other source of food, you don't have carbohydrates, you don't have fats, and proteins are there, the body can resort to use the proteins to provide energy, okay? But that would be wastage. It can be wastage of your body tissues, and in that case, if the proteins are used up, then the next thing will be death, okay, out of lack of energy for the body. Okay, so lack of protein diet leads to protein deficiency disease, which we have called the kwashiorkor and the marasmus. That is due to lack of energy. If you don't have energy, you get that. And can someone read for us the symptoms of kwashiorkor? Symptoms of kwashiorkor. Yes, please.
Swelling of body.
Yeah.
Dry and cracked skin, hot belly, skin and curved legs, bulging eyes and reddish hair, swelling of the body.
Yeah, all right, sweating over the body. You have seen such kids with the kwashiorkor having a potted belly. That is very common, okay? That potted belly, skin very cracked because these proteins are supposed to repair their skin's tissues. So if it's not there, then you get a cracked skin for that case, okay? Those are some of the symptoms of kwashiorkor. Yes, please. Okay. Okay. Is there any issue? If there's any issue, you can raise up your hand and let us know, or you can use chat and then you communicate to us, okay? So don't just make a lot of noise, okay? Please give a communication which is understandable. Okay. Then we talked, that was the problems associated with the lack of proteins in the body. Then here we see here marasmus, which affects the children, and it is caused by deficiency of proteins and energy-giving nutrients in the diet. So because of this, the child may lose weight and may get muscle wasting, and it can cause retardation in the brain or mental activity of the child, and the child may get stunted growth. Yeah, seen some children, many people talk about them as having spent many years, they have seen them, but they have stunted growth. Yeah, the baby's bone can be better than them. Okay, because their growth has been arrested the growth. Okay, however, can we have someone take us through the symptoms of marasmus? Symptoms of marasmus. Symptoms of marasmus, please. Yes, Kaitesi.
Retarded physical and mental growth.
Okay.
Radial shedding of subcutaneous fat and muscles. Dry, loose, wrinkled skin. The arms and muscles. Visible ribs and diarrhea.
Very good. Okay. Yeah. Yeah, my voice breaking a little. Okay. I hope it has improved by now. Okay. So those are the symptoms. We have had them, symptoms of marasmus. Okay. Visible ribs. If you have not been eating for some time, then the ribs will be seen by everyone. You put on your t-shirt, your collarless blouse or shirt, then the ribs are out, or any part of the rib which can be seen will be clearly seen because you don't have tissue. Marasmus comes because there's no energy, food you have been getting, and still you don't have protein food along that. And how we can control this? We can be cured by getting food which is rich in proteins, having carbohydrates and fats with vitamin and minerals. So it means we get exposed to what we call a balanced diet. You have to just improve on your diet. Okay, and so that is what we are talking about, proteins as our second food nutrient. Remember, we talked about the first one as carbohydrates, and now here we're talking about proteins. We're talking about proteins for that case. And the next we want to see and carry out a test for proteins. Such experiments will be made when we get to class or back to the lab. However, one source we did talk. I remember we didn't talk about I didn't take you through the sources. Okay, the sources. Can you try to mention the sources of proteins? Sources of proteins. What are the sources of proteins? Protein foods. What are the sources of protein foods? What are the sources of protein foods? Sources of proteins. Is this a difficult question? Yes. Imelda.
Beans.
Very good. Beans are a good source of plant proteins. Yes, Michael?
Milk.
Yeah, very good. Milk contains proteins. Actually, milk is one food that contains most of the food nutrients. Most of the food nutrients are contained in milk, except one. Which food nutrient is lacking in milk? Which food nutrients is lacking in milk? Make this as just one of the yes, Peter Clever.
Eggs.
Naye madamu lw'ozitinkudde nno wezikufuukira enjuki.
Nyabo, leka geeti wali zizaawo.
Bridget, we are hearing.
Hello, teacher.
Obudde? Obudde? Ajja musaali. Simulaba ali awo. Obudde? Obudde? mpulidde omusajja ng'agamba jangu wakweka juice mbadde manyi Emma yagenze okusaba anewanisa omukono kayitasi agamba kyona.
Members, has the lesson ended?
Okay, yes, I'm back. We had a question. Kaitesi, you have an issue?
No, I was answering the question.
Yeah. Can you hear me now?
Yes, teacher.
Yes,
All right, can you answer the question that we are looking at by the time I left?
Yeah, you're saying what nutrient are missing in milk,
Yeah.
and I think it is vitamin D and calcium.
Vitamins. No, the fact that you can get some vitamins there, so they are covered. However, calcium. All right, now milk has most of the food nutrients apart from iron. Does not contain iron. All right, so that is one main nutrient that lacks in mineral. That mineral called iron is not found in milk. Okay, that's the only one lacking. Therefore, we are giving sources of proteins, and that's how we had come to that. Can we have other sources? Yeah, someone had given us the beans, which is a good protein for plant protein. Then someone has given us milk. Can I have the third one?
Fish.
Yeah, very good. Fish. Now, breast milk. Breast milk. I didn't find out exactly what, but I was talking about milk as from this other milk we get from animals. Okay, for breast milk, I have to. I cannot commit myself to say that. I have to find out. Yeah, I need to be sure. Okay, how I will have to check. I'll have to check that. However, we can go ahead. Someone was talking about eggs. That is good. Any other? Hello? Eggs is correct. Any other? Yes, Michael.
Fish.
Oh, very good. That is good. So fish is a good source of fish is a good source of proteins, and say animal protein in that case. Okay. Another source? Yes, please. Okay, now, hello? Hello? Breast milk does not contain iron. So we are right to say that milk has no iron. So even if breast milk does not contain iron, breast milk would contain like fats. It has like cholesterol, a lot of fats. Actually, the biggest amount of it is the fats. But fats are good sources of energy if used in the body. Yeah, so they actually fats contain more energy than carbohydrates when broken down. Breast milk has about potassium, has sodium, has cholesterol. So breast milk, it has quite many nutrients, has proteins, has carbohydrates, minerals, and it has vitamins within it. Okay, and according to it, the biggest percentage are saturated fats within breast milk. Okay, so it is similar to regular milk. There are no iron is not contained in this kind of what? Iron is not contained in milk. Is a missing nutrient. Okay, now.
Okay, teacher.
Yes. Now that we know some food nutrients, some sources of proteins in the body, now we can go ahead and know if I want to carry out a test for proteins, which kind of foods can I use? In the lab, mostly we use egg albumin. Egg albumin, if you get an egg and you open it, that what we call the egg white, yeah, that content without yolk is egg albumin. You can get that, and it has a lot of proteins in it. So we get that egg albumin, and is what we use. That's why in the requirements here, we need egg albumin, we need copper 2 sulfate solution, and sodium hydroxide. These two are the ones we use for carrying out that test for proteins. We shall be able to see. And in this, we need to, 1 centimeter cube of the egg albumin, you add sodium hydroxide. And then later you add the drops of copper 2 sulfate. If proteins are present, you get a purple or violet color forming. That is, in the reduction you write proteins present. You can make that addition in your reduction table. It should be proteins present. However, if proteins are absent, you don't see the purple color. Instead, once you add the copper 2 sulfate, the copper 2 sulfate, after adding sodium hydroxide, instead you get a blue precipitate forming, not purple. Purple is an indicator that proteins are present. Okay. If the proteins are not present, you won't see that color change. Proteins are not present. Okay. Now the above is called the Barrett test for proteins. And if they're absent, no purple is seen, as I've explained there. There is another test for proteins, which we call the Milon's test, not million. Can you change that? Still, it is Milon's test. And this test, however, these days we don't carry it out because that reagent called Milon's reagent is poisonous. If you take in the gases you get out of boiling it, it has been found to be producing poisonous gases. So we no longer carry out this test in the lab, but we need to know about it theoretically. That Milon's is a reagent that we can use just for proteins. Okay. However, it is no longer a recommended test for proteins for that case. Meat is a good source of animal proteins. Okay.
Yes.
Meat is a good source of animal protein. If you need iron, for mostly iron, we get liver is the best source for iron in the body. Okay, and yeah, that is it to answer Peter's question. I think that is the response I can give in that case. Someone who said sugar is a source of proteins, my friend. Sugar, we have just talked about sugars as carbohydrates. So typically sugars are carbohydrates. Yeah, when you eat sugar, it is a good source of carbohydrates, not proteins for that particular case. So we are looking at the different food nutrients. We had looked at carbohydrates. Then today we started by looking at the proteins. We've been looking at proteins, and we have seen issues of proteins. And now this one, unless there is a question from a member about proteins, then we can move to the next food nutrient. We can move to the next food nutrient. We have about 7 minutes to the end of the lesson. We can go about the next food nutrients if there is no particular question. Any question?
Yes.
Yes, you can ask. Bridget.
Teacher,
Yes, please.
where can I find the amino acids?
What is amino acids? Is this what you wanted to say? Did you mean
Yes.
amino acids? Oh. We have said amino acids are the building blocks of proteins. Okay. So any protein food has amino acids. So within our bodies,
Yes.
from the food we eat, we get amino acids. Okay. So where you get them? From protein foods, okay? Because proteins are built from from different amino acids. There are different amino acids, okay, which are used to form the different proteins, okay? So that's why different food sources can give us also different quality of proteins, okay? The kind of proteins you get from plants is not the same of quality of proteins you get from animals. Actually, animal proteins are the best than plant proteins because plants may lack some essential amino acids. That means people who are vegetarians have a problem that they may lack some essential amino acids, whereas people who eat the meat, they get exposed themselves to a number of all the different types of amino acids in the body, unlike those who are typically depending on plants. Those are the vegetarians. You have some people who are vegetarians. Yeah. So that would be the problem of eating only, not eating meat. But meat has most of the essential amino acids in the body. Yeah. All together?
Yes.
Any other question concerning proteins? Hope I've tried to explain that previous one very well somehow, okay? Maybe someone is already convinced. Nakatudayu? Are you convinced? Yes, Enoch. Enoch.
Yes.
Yeah.
Like when I eat my dodo with peanuts, which type of food value do I get?
Dodo. Dodo being is a vegetable, eh? Being a vegetable, and then peanuts Groundnuts have a good source of lipids. Yeah, a good source of lipids. That one we know. And so we shall get lipids from them. We shall have a source of carbohydrates there. Okay. Some amino acids will be contained there. Then if you have added dodo, being a vegetable, being a leafy vegetable, you're exposing yourself to a good source of some particular vitamins in the body, certain mineral elements, okay, that will have been absorbed by that dodo. So it would be a good combination, okay. If you are on dodo, you have added nuts, okay. But although now all of these two remain as plant materials, okay. Whereas they can give us some good source of proteins and carbohydrates mixed together, but there are some essential amino acids which may lack. So on a particular day or in your week when you are planning your diet, you have to plan when you get exposed to animal protein, okay? So you have to eat either meat, you eat chicken. If you cannot afford the chicken, then you can eat an alternative of animal protein, which can be fish, okay? You can go for fish, which is also equally good, okay? However, we also advised not to consume a lot of red meat, yeah? Actually, there is no problem eating like chicken, fish, and those whose religion does not stop them from eating pork. Yeah, if you look at those three classes I've talked about, they have kind of a difference in the kind of muscles they have. Okay, if you compare it with the muscle you get from red meat, this is red, the other is white. You get, yeah, white tissue, red tissue. This red tissue has got a lot of issues. So better if your diet is made of the what? The other kind, fish, or eat chicken. That is very good. Okay. Then depending on your religion, some religions they are prohibited from eating some foods. Like the Muslims don't eat pork, so they will rather go for another food, an equivalent of animal protein which they eat. Okay.
What's up, guys?
Okay. So that is about proteins and what we can say about proteins. Hope after the lesson, people can go for a meal which is rich in proteins. You can demand it for chicken, after here. They've been talking about diet and how you can improve diet. Yeah, actually, if you eat proteins, which is animal, and you have really heavy activity at home, you have after like studies, you need to have really a good source, a good meal, okay, to compensate for the energy and the cells that you have burnt during the lesson, especially if it is a mathematics lesson or chemistry lesson. Yeah. Okay, do you have another question? Someone is asking, that's why at school you don't get such foods. Yes. Even at school you get animal what? You get an animal protein once in a while. Actually, on a weekly basis, we are exposed to that. Okay, and you know that meat can stay in the body for some good time. And being school, sometimes we work within the budget. So if we provided the chicken every day, there would be problems for that particular case. We would get a problem, and maybe the school would close after 1 week, and we are sent back home. And so that's why we at least provide beans. Beans is a good source of proteins, actually. Beans is a good source of proteins and is cheap, easier to prepare. Everyone would be happy when he gets it, and you can serve very many people. Even just someone getting soup with 5 beans is okay. Yeah, you can go and enjoy your posho with it, and it's a good combination with posho. Yeah, okay. If I sent work on YouTube and you cannot download it, it seems you don't have the necessary app to play it. However, phonics browser can be the best. Yeah, okay, so someone who wants to use the work which I sent, phonics browser, you can try phonics browser. It can open many kinds of documents, so you can install phonics browser for that case. Okay, the Muslims, we are sorry for talking about your forbidden food and your forbidden the foods you don't eat, but this is a lesson. Yeah, this is a lesson, and we
Teacher.
have to. Yes, please. Question.
Teacher,
Yes, please.
is there a work on YouTube?
I sent for yesterday, but someone was just telling me, someone was telling me